Our region is a center of knowledge creation with research universities and more than 200 corporate research centers. R&D is so important to the country's future that the federal government offers a tax credit to actually encourage it, one that's very suited to manufacturers. And it's not just an incentive for big global companies. Small and mid-sized businesses can qualify for this credit too, and another one if they're exporters as well. Brian Cameron is Executive Vice President of Business Development with Paradigm Partners. Christine Hughes is a business consultant with the Duquesne University Small Business Development Center. And Ron Maloney is Vice President for Trade and Global Marketing with the Pittsburgh Regional Alliance, an affiliate of the Allegheny Conference. And welcome. Good to see all three of you.
Thank you. See you, Bill. Appreciate it.
The subject of this segment is little-known tax credits that businesses don't take advantage of, which, since everybody hates paying taxes to begin with, surprises me that they're leaving these opportunities unturned.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, companies should have to pay the taxes that they have to pay, but if the incentives are out there that the government puts forth, it's really a lack of education, and so we try to provide that education to companies, and with our specialized engineers and intellectual property attorneys, we help them take advantage of these incentives that they themselves cannot and CPA firms cannot.
Well, and the one you're talking about may just have a name that right out of the gate sends them in the wrong direction.
Right. The term R&D tax credit makes companies think we don't perform R&D activities. In fact, I would say 90% of the companies we worked with initially told us that they do not conduct R&D.
Well, you think about Bayer, a major research center. That's a company doing R&D.
Right.
And they know it.
That's right. The traditional definition is very different than the IRS's definition. So when companies think of R&D, they think of chemicals and lab coats and scientists blowing things up. But when in reality, it's your day-to-day activities, engineering, prototyping, fabricating, machining, if you're developing any software. So it's your basic day-to-day functions, quality assurance activities. All of these things now qualify for the tax credit under Section 41 of the tax code.
And on the exporting side, Ron, there's similar opportunities that companies don't take advantage of.
Absolutely. It's called the IC disc incentive, exporting incentive. It's the only incentive left since the World Trade Organization did away with those left in the U.S. Essentially, qualifying exporters can receive up to 20% almost on a permanent basis reduction in their taxable income.
Wow, if they apply for it. But you're saying most exporters that qualify, many of them just don't even do it.
Correct. It's almost, Bill, as you know, the Pittsburgh Regional Alliance, an affiliate of the Allegheny Conference, really executes the contract for the state of Pennsylvania with its regional export network, which offers a host and a variety of resources and services to local businesses. There's 11,000 exporters in the state of Pennsylvania. Really only less than 2,000 of them take advantage of the free resources of the state. So it's an awareness issue. Just like the export program that the state of Pennsylvania offers, there's an awareness issue. There's an awareness issue as far as taking advantage of this incentive.
Christina, so this is where you fit in, I guess, trying to get the word out?
Right. Our goal is to help small businesses, and we also have an international business consultant, Brent Rondon, who works with a lot of the exporting companies here in Pennsylvania, so he'll help us to get the word out as well.
Well, and Brian, and you mentioned that you may have an accountant, but at least in the case of your credit, your accountant can't necessarily get you this credit?
Yeah, absolutely. Even the bigger CPA firms, because of the change in the tax laws, are starting to partner with niche boutique firms like ours to provide this service because of the necessary engineering requirements. The reports that we put together read much like a patent report or a series of patent reports. So CPAs simply don't have those resources in-house to be able to take advantage of it. And because we are certified in all 50 states as a company to teach continuing education to CPAs, we do travel around the country. We've recently spoken at a Boiler Manufacturers Association conference, and 1 out of 40 companies in the room had taken advantage of it. And off of what Ron said, I think we actually had some information from the state of Pennsylvania that there's 20,000 companies that should be taking the credit in Pennsylvania because the state credit can be sold to other firms that can utilize if they're not paying taxes. And only 400 companies have taken advantage of the R&D credit in the state of Pennsylvania.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, that's the one thing I was going to ask you about anyway. With the prospects of a slowing economy out ahead, what difference do tax credits make to people? But I guess you can trade them in some fashion?
Well, in Pennsylvania is unique in that aspect, and you can. And the other thing is, if let's say they had a down year this year for obvious reasons, they can actually go back 3 open tax years to take advantage. So if they were profitable in paying taxes in 05, 06, or 07, they can now go back and get that cash back from the tax credits that we're able to find them, and they'll receive cash from those years. So maybe you had a bad year, you can actually leverage off of your prior year's success and take that money needed more now than ever.
Sure. Well, I would think this would help fuel the growth of companies then, Ron, if you can take advantage of these types of incentives that the government offers.
Absolutely. I mean, exporting has been, if you want to find a bright spot in the economy as of late, exporting across the country has been up. It's one of the bright spots in our economy. Anything we can do that allows our businesses to be more competitive, have better cash flow, more capital to work with, to either invest at home or abroad or to sell more product is beneficial and should be taken a look at.
Very good. Well, hopefully people will take advantage of it and, generate some continued success in the future. Thanks to all three of you. Really appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks for having us.
And we'll be back in a minute with a little more dollars and cents. Stay with us.